the timing of when I launched, there's been this big shift with marketing and like consumer behavior where perfection doesn't sell anymore. And I'm like, thank God, because I can't be perfect because I don't have a team. I don't have enough time. Mm-hmm. And so back in the day it was like the perfect Instagram feed. But in 2020, that's when it all kind of started to shift.
That's Abby Michaelsen, and this is the Powerful Ladies Podcast. Hey guys, I'm Kara Duffy, a business coach and entrepreneur on a mission to help you live your most extraordinary life by showing you that anything is possible. People who have mastered freedom, ease, and success, who are living their best and most ridiculous lives, and who are making the biggest impact, are often people you've never heard of until now. One great idea can change your life, and going viral on TikTok can change your business. Today's guest and one of my rock star clients, Abby Michaelsen of Statement Home, has experienced both phenomena and used them to her advantage. In this episode, we talk about the process of starting a product-based business, how to scale a business as a one-woman show, and the marketing secrets that can transform your business too. All that and so much more. Abby, I am so excited you are here.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
You know, there is so much that I am proud of you about and excited to share with everyone listening about who you are and what you've created. So before I start into all my questions and praise, let's tell everyone who you are, where you are in the world, and what you're up to.
Yeah. So my name is Abby Michaelsen. I am the founder and CEO of Statement Home and the creator of the Jack of All Trades, which I like to say is a TikTok viral celebrity loved product, which has been really exciting and crazy to see happen. I am located in Southern California, pretty near you, and I'm 2 years into starting and running my business. Still running it on my own, which is a challenge. And yeah, that's who I am.
Well, let's start at the beginning of where Statement Home started. How did this business even come into idea form?
Yes. So I like to say it all started in a shoebox, AKA a New York City, Manhattan apartment. I moved there after college. I was working for startups, doing marketing and business development. And then in my personal life, I was trying to figure out how to decorate my tiny apartment, how to entertain in it for different holidays and occasions. And I am someone that loves throwing parties, hosting friends and family. I love interior design. I'm the daughter of an interior designer. My mom is an interior designer. And I just found it really challenging to figure out how to make my space my own, and specifically how to change up the look of it throughout the year and to have serving pieces and decor pieces that reflected the seasons and holidays or themes, whatever. And the kind of light bulb moment was when I had bought a tray for a holiday party. It had a very like holiday season, Christmas look to it. And I used it for a party. And then afterwards, I was like, where am I going to store this? I barely have room for pots and pans. This was a really dumb and practical purchase. I was really mad at myself for buying it. And it just made me think, like, why do we do this? Why do we have stuff for every holiday? Why isn't there a better way? And I didn't immediately come up with the interchangeable design that I'm sure we'll get into. But it just kind of sparked a thought. And then I was at the same time wanting to think more about starting a business. And then I guess the stars aligned, which I didn't realize then, but I got laid off from the startup I was working for and basically had to decide, am I going to look for a new job or am I going to try to start a business that somehow has to do with this problem with the tray that I don't really understand what that means. And then I ultimately was just like, I guess I'm starting something and I don't know what it is. And decided to move back to California from New York so that I could not be in such an expensive city while I tried to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And so you have this aha moment because you bought something that was great in the moment and now you don't need and can't store. And how did you go from the aha moment to even just having a sample? Because I think so many people get stuck in everyone has great ideas. Everyone has these aha moments, but so few people do anything with them. So how did you go from the aha moment to, oh shit, like I actually have a product I made in my hands?
Yeah, it was a long time. I wouldn't say it was a long
Okay.
process. I just like didn't do it. So I totally understand people's hesitation. So I moved home. I was really lost. I was missing New York. And I was working for my mom's interior design business because I was like, well, I might as well learn more about the design world. I knew I liked it, but I couldn't talk about it. And so then as I was working for her, growing her social media, learning all about that, I don't know how long it took, but eventually I was like, why don't I just buy a tray on Amazon? Buy an acrylic tray that I like on Amazon. And then I found a local vendor, someone my mom knew that could just make a very like flimsy piece of plastic that, like, think of a cheap placemat. Um, that could just fit in the tray. I had them make 3 different ones. They weren't reversible. It was just a design on each. And I wanted to see what it felt like and looked like to put an insert in a tray because I thought that that seemed really dumb and simple, which of course I've now learned is good. But I was like, oh no, it needs to be like engineered and like snap in and like all these things. And then no, I realized it can actually be really simple. So then I had a tray, these 3 different inserts. I thought it was really cool. I started to show some people and they thought it was cool, but no one, it was sort of like this silly little thing that I had. And then I had this grand plan for like, I'm going to create this versatile, interchangeable home decor brand. But then all I had was this like sample. And so then I actually was looking into different programs I could do to learn more and to provide more guidance in a network. And so I ended up doing a grad school program at USC focused on entrepreneurship and innovation. And the goal is basically you come in with an idea, you work on it through the curriculum and you launch. And I did that within a few months, which we could go into.
Yeah, because that's not, there's so much about how you're building your business that is in alignment with other people who have built a business, especially a product-based business, but it's not common for everyone else. And was, looking at who you are as a human and your personality, what was it about this idea that you got attached to? Like, are you naturally determined? Are you like to get hyper focused to make it into a business is really unique. So were you intentional about it or would it like not leave you alone?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't leave me alone. I was like, I know that this tray is really cool. I know that I would love it and other people like me would love it. And then part of the schoolwork I was doing at USC, we did something called customer discovery, which I wish I had just done a year earlier. So basically, this was in 2019, so the fall before COVID. And we basically had to go into the public, go up to strangers and ask them questions and targeting people who you think would be your target customer. So I was going into Williams Sonoma, Crate and Barrel, home decor boutiques, and I would go up and just introduce myself, say, can I ask you some questions about decor or entertaining? Like, what are you buying? And then I got pretty good at doing this. And you don't want to like you want to ask questions in a way that's very broad and not to lead to a certain answer. So I wasn't like, hi, do you want a tray with inserts? Because like, what does that mean? It was more like, well, what are you buying? What are you looking at? Oh, like, do you like to entertain? And it was always yes, because that's where I was, like those stores. Well, how often do you entertain? What items do you use? And everyone uses a tray of some sorts. They're like trays. I go, oh, well, how many trays do you think you have? And I kept noticing the same thing, like, oh, I have so many, or like, oh, I have a few. I'm like, do you want more? Yes, but like, I don't know where I'm going to put them, or like, oh, it's just so much stuff, or like, well, that one's cute for Halloween, but like, do I need a Halloween tray? Like, and it was just over and over and over again, hearing the same things. And then there were also other students working on it with me, and they kept hearing the same things. So I was like, okay, it's not just me, like, not knowing that I'm guiding them to answer in a certain way. And so then that validated, like, okay, there is a problem. Like, people want more variety. They want different looks, but they don't want a bunch of stuff piling up in their cabinets, or they don't have the space or budget for it. So then that gave me the confidence that my idea was something that could actually grow into a successful product and then eventually a product line in the future.
You have this idea, you do the testing, you land on, it's an acrylic tray with inserts that are reversible. So you don't just get one look, you can get two. You can switch them out for every season. You can switch them out for different parties or events. And it becomes, as you call it, the jack of all trades. Like you just need one for whatever tray need you might ever have. You and I both know now that people need maybe more than one of these statement home trays because you end up wanting them at different parts of your house, or like I have mine on my dresser and it stays there. And then I'm like, oh, well, I need another one for like serving food. And I like, so you need more than one, but only because you're using them, not because you're storing them and they don't work. But what I think is so phenomenal about you and how you've started this business is you very quickly from launch had your product in the hands of celebrities and these exposure to people who were getting it into press on your behalf. Like, were you losing your mind when you saw like Sofia Vergara using your tray and it being published in, was it Us or People?
Yes. There's a video where I was literally shaking. I was like, I got to capture this moment. When I got the notification that Sofia Vergara posted it on her feed and tagged Shop Statement Home in her Instagram caption, I was like, what? Like that. I mean, I was just hoping maybe she would post a story and hopefully she tags my brand correctly. Like that would be amazing. And then I'm like, oh my God. So there is a video of me just freaking out that I filmed a selfie video and I posted it on my Instagram stories, and everyone was like, oh my God, you're so cute. And then afterwards I'm like, I cannot believe I posted that. Yeah, I was freaking out. And then I'm like, okay, wait, how do I take advantage of this? This is a short lifespan. And I had remembered that someone I used to work with was dating an editor at People Home. And I was like always kind of waiting until the right moment. I'm like, well, this is the right moment, and sent it over to him. He sent it to her. I was hoping just for an intro. Can I send a sample? And then a few hours later, he sends me the link to how to get Sofia Vergara's tray on people.com. And I'm like, excuse me? like what? And yeah, it's crazy.
Well, and you've had such tremendous success also, you know, celebrity exposure definitely helps. It helps every business. And then you have also had crazy success on TikTok. So much so that you have people coming to you asking, how can I replicate my success for my business on TikTok? Was that on accident? Was it strategic? Like, can you be strategic on TikTok, or is it all like a hope and a prayer?
It's both. It was strategic. I shifted my focus in the spring of 2021. So that was like nearing the end of my first year. I mean, we were working together and I was telling you how like I spend so much time on Instagram content creating just like lifestyle content, like recipes and cheese boards, which is, I still do. It's still important, but that doesn't sell the product, because even if I'm showing, oh, here's an insert, flipping over, going in the tray, the focus is on the food or the drink, not the tray. And so it's not going to sell. Maybe it sells one, it's not going to sell hundreds or thousands. And I had seen on TikTok all these small businesses saying they were getting all these sales, because I'm just on TikTok as a user. And I'm like, I got to figure out how to do this. And it was a lot of trial and error. And I guess it was sort of an accident, because the first video, I was just sitting on my phone. Okay, I need to post something on TikTok, looking through really old videos. And I had a video where I filmed one of my best friends unboxing. And it was a real unboxing. She had purchased the tray. She starts unwrapping. I go, oh, wait, let me film this. And this had been almost a year since I had filmed the video. I go, oh, wait, this is actually really good. Maybe I should put it on TikTok. Put it on TikTok, edit it, put hashtags I thought would make sense. And then it quickly starts getting all these views. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And all these comments. And then it wasn't until the next day that it really blew up, but I woke up to $1,000+ of orders. And that had never happened before, maybe the holidays, but not at a random day. And I was like, wait, is this from the TikTok? And I opened TikTok and it was just blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so sort of an accident, but also strategy of shifting focus to it and thinking what type of video would people like. And so then I learned unboxings can be good. And so I filmed more unboxings. I haven't been able to nail the magic of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think my friend, just her reaction was really good.
Yeah.
And so but then I went months without a lot coming from TikTok. Like that video drove, as you know, $10,000 of sales in a few days, which at the time was really, really crazy. And my grandparents were helping me pack orders, and it was mayhem. That's the experience that led you and me to decide I needed to outsource my fulfillment to a warehouse fulfillment center. So it was a turning point because I was like, this needs to be normal, and it can't be normal if I'm packing the orders. I just started making a bunch of different videos for TikTok showing different ways the tray works to see what might stick. And then I would post them multiple times in different formats with different background musics, different voiceovers, a 15-second version, a 20-second version, a 10-second version, different hashtags, because you just don't know what's going to work. And it's not as big of a deal to repost on TikTok because different people see every video. And what I found was when I told my story of why I created it, combined with showing how it works. So it's showing while showing the product, not explaining it verbally. And then telling the story, like it started in my small apartment. I didn't have space. I like to entertain. So then anyone who is similar to me, that's going to immediately resonate with them. And then they're hooked in, and then they're seeing how it works. And they go, oh, that's brilliant, or that's genius. And then I can comment back or respond back to that comment that says it's genius or it's brilliant. And then it's someone else calling my product that. Like, I'm not saying that even if I think it. I'm like, oh, I'm so flattered. You think my product is genius. And and as you know, that once resulted in $100,000 of sales from one TikTok video. And that video and being able to just tell the story that led to 100,000, that's led to being in Business Insider. Just today, CNN made a list of viral products and I'm first on it.
Okay,
really
so
exciting.
So time out. Breaking news. CNN just posted you as the #1 viral product.
Yeah. CNN as of this morning. I was like, what is all this traffic on my website? And I'm like, then I realized I'm like, CNN. And I couldn't find the link. And then a friend saw it, happened to see it, and texted it to me as I was trying to figure it out. So that was fun.
So do you feel like the more that you lean in on your business and do keep coming back to the basics and just be selling the tray and talking about the tray and showing people why it matters and like repeating that core story, do you feel like your business expands faster when you come back to the core essentials of what your message is?
Yes, which is what you always tell me to do. But yeah, the most effective videos have been either me telling the story and then why I created it, or someone I know, like my grandma who has gone viral on my TikTok, or a friend. And I'm very clear that this is my friend or my grandma. I'm not trying to pretend like it's some customer like creating a video about how they like it. Like, it's much better to just say like, this is my grandma showing you the tray. I mean, I think I was estimating that I think she drove $20,000 of sales over the holidays. And the video starts her standing there, trays, bunch of inserts. And I'm like, oh my God, grandma, what are you doing? That's of course staged, but that's fine because it's cute. And then she goes, I just want to show everyone this tray you created. And she's adorable on camera. So am I lucky to have an adorable grandma who was willing to get on camera? Of course. And she's great. But then I learned, okay, that works. People like her on TikTok. Let's use her again. So I'm going to have to book a new photo shoot with her soon because we did it for Mother's Day. And we're going to have to do it again for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, etc. So yeah, I think it's like saying, why did this video work and how can I replicate it? But you're never going to perfectly replicate it. So you need to think, well, how can I use it in a different way? So yeah. And then I would say also leaning into the fact that I'm a one-woman operation. I used to just think that was so embarrassing. I don't know why. Like in the beginning, like when I first launched, I was pretending like I was this like legit big thing. And I would like nothing was ever coming from me. Like you didn't have to know my name. Like my story was maybe on the website, but I didn't talk about it. And once I leaned into that and put my face more and got on camera more, people connect with it. And they're always shocked when they find out it's just me. You know, if there's some sort of customer service issue, something's delayed or something. And I write back and I say, thank you for your patience. I'm a one-woman operation. And they're always like, wait, what? Like, whoa, I thought I was reaching out to a team, or they realize that the phone number is my cell phone, which probably needs to change. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was your personal phone number. I'm like, no, don't apologize. It was the number you were given. Like it's I'm the one you're talking to.
Well, so for people who are listening right now, who have an idea and are like, oh, I think this could be a business or should be a business. Would you tell them to go for it? Yes or no? And if yes, what would you tell them to do first?
Well, I would never say go for it without hearing what the idea is, because I think that there's some ideas you shouldn't go for. Like not every idea is going to work. I've had plenty of ideas that I'm glad I didn't go for. And I think that anyone who just says, yeah, do it, like that's not good advice. So I would want to know like what it is and why they're creating it and what they think the opportunity is. And if it's aligned, like if the opportunity is aligned with their goals, like are they trying to start $1 billion company, but it sounds more like something that isn't going to reach that point, then I would want to be like, well, this is misaligned. Yeah. But I would also want to just figure out how passionate they are about it. Like anyone that meets me, like they can just tell, like, I love my product. I'm passionate about why people need it and like what this business is going to turn into. Like, you know, people call me the tray girl, which I just lean into. I mean, this whole weekend I was wine tasting with friends and everyone would be like, the tray girl. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have a tray with me. Like you have to be at that level. Like you have, because you are going to be the one who's growing the business. So I would want to make sure that they were really passionate about it beyond the financial potential, reaping financial benefits from it. And then I would want to know that they, done some sort of market research. Have you talked to people? Do people want this? Is it just you that wants it? Does it already exist? Just because it exists doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. But like, why is there room for more? There usually is, but like, why are you going to be different? How are you going to do it better? That's what I would want to know. If there's another part of that question, it was.
Well, no, I actually have another question based on what you shared. You said that how passionate you are about this, because starting a business is not easy. And there have been lots of ups and downs. There's been lots of tears, some panic attacks, and like all of your stress and anxiety. It's not never. I would say the majority of it has been based around, holy shit, we weren't expecting this to happen. How do we make sure we fulfill with everyone the way that we want to maintain our level of standards and customer service, because we've never had to process as many orders this fast? Or it's like when the good problems to have really are still problems and they have to be solved. So how much do you have to be in love with and committed to the product you're making to like hold on for dear life when you're going like up the roller coaster, down the roller coaster, back up? Like if you didn't love your product, would you still be in business?
I think I probably wouldn't. I think there's other people who can. Like, I think that there's a type of entrepreneur that sees an opportunity and like they're not personally connected to the product, but they're good enough at business or they have enough experience in e-commerce and they're able to just do it. I see a lot of TikTok videos of like these e-commerce experts and they have just 10 different products that they sell and they're all on different websites and there's no personal story, but they're lower priced products that they're kind of just able to push out. I couldn't do that. Like I can't spend all day, every day trying to sell something I don't care about. And I don't even think I would be able to, because I think the reason why this is blowing up and I'm at where I'm at is because I am so passionate about it. And then it creates better content and a better thing. So that's just me personally.
Yeah.
my personality. I've always only really leaned in on things I was very passionate about. But it depends on the person. Like some people are also driven by making a lot of money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And so they might say, this product's going to blow up. I don't care. That has nothing to do with my life. People will buy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when people ask me who I like working with, I want my clients to have all those pieces. Like I want you to care about having your best life financially, but I also want you to care about what you're doing, because it's so much more fun when you're committed and heart-led in your business. Like I like telling those richer stories. I like supporting people where you're all in. It's a different level of game when you're all in.
Yeah, when I sometimes laugh because I'm like how many hours have I spent thinking about a tray? Like I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, I cannot think about trays anymore. Like it's just a tray. I'm like, it's just a tray. Like how many ways can I talk about a tray? How many ways can I show how a tray works? And because it's been part of my life since like 2018. I mean, it's lived in the world since 2020. Yeah. And like, I mean, some of my friends are even like, it's amazing, like how you are so focused on like a tray. And I think that like, I'm sure there's, people like friends or acquaintances that follow me on social media that are like, oh my God, the freaking trays, like trays. Like, how does she spend so much time on a tray? They're like at their consulting or finance job. And I'm just like, hey, here's this cute tray. And I'm going to switch it from fall to Halloween and then game day and be really cute. Like this is my job.
But I think it's so important that like people, we mentioned a little bit earlier, we forget how many people in the world don't know the basics of our business. Like I make this mistake all the time with my own. Like, who the hell am I? What do I actually do? How do I help people? Why does it matter? Like those coming back to that core messaging again, right? So yeah, we probably annoy our close friends who are like, shut up. I don't care about business. I don't care about how your clients are amazing. I don't care about this tray. And you're like, yeah, but do you really know? Or does your friend know? Because if you can tell your friend, I can stop talking about it. But until then, I got to talk about it.
Yeah. And also they don't know what goes into it. So like, I just created this really cute, I think you saw it, video that was showing all my new inserts for fall, from fall to Halloween to game day to Thanksgiving. It's a 20-second video. It took me 4 hours to film on a Sunday. Like I didn't go out and have a drunk brunch with my friends.
Yeah.
I set up a tripod, had all the different things I was using, and 20 seconds took 4 hours to film. And I'm turning it into many different videos and photos and all this stuff. But it's like, does it look fun? And do I look cute in the video? Yeah, but it was like 4 or 5 hours of my weekend that I spent. And so does it look like this silly, unserious work that I do for the job? Yeah, but like I also have to be able to do that, like look good on camera and be charismatic, and then like do the accounting, and then like build my website, and then like deal with the fulfillment center and customer service. Like it's not easy at all, and it's not glamorous, but it can look kind of fun and silly externally.
Yeah, and it is like 10% of the time.
Yeah, and often my weekend.
Yeah. If we look back at 8-year-old you, would 8-year-old you have imagined the life that you have today?
No, because 8-year-old me probably would have think I was already married with kids, because 8-year-old Abby would think that was something very easy to do. And I don't think 8-year-old Abby would be surprised I had a business. But I think she would probably think, oh my gosh, you're 30 and not married? That's so old.
Yeah. When you were 8, what did you want to be?
I told everyone I wanted to be a doctor because I was told by my grandfather, who's a retired doctor, that I was going to go to Stanford and be a doctor.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Neither happened.
I'm now a doctor of trays. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That would be a cute TikTok, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're doing all those kid flashback ones now, right? Of like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But if you, there was once a trend where it was like photos as a kid and then you as an adult. And I did something where it was like a bunch of photos of me in very like colorful, fun outfits and poses. And it like totally made sense that like this was the product I made. And if you ask my friends from growing up, from high school, from college, they would all say this is like the most Abby possible business that could ever exist. And it makes so much sense that I started it.
Yeah. Well, and you come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Yes, and we just keep becoming more entrepreneurial.
Yeah, and so to give everyone perspective, how many people are in your immediate family and how many are entrepreneurs?
So I have 3 brothers, and they're all entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Yeah. And then my mom's an entrepreneur. She's an interior designer. I think sometimes people don't think of interior designers in that way, but she started and runs her own business, and she graduated college. And I mean, my dad passed away. He was not an entrepreneur. My stepdad is sort of an entrepreneur within a bigger organization.
Yeah. It cracks me up that I'll sometimes go to have a session with your mother at her house and there's 4 entrepreneurs using it as a WeWork for the day. And they all happen to be family. So I think it's so interesting. So like, what was it about how you were raised and being raised by someone who became on accident a single mother? What was happening in your household, or what did your mother or dad or stepdad teach you guys where like this was totally normal and encouraged?
I wouldn't say they ever said it was totally normal. I have been thinking about this recently because I've been asked about it more often. I think it's when like I've been introduced to people who my brothers who are more recently entrepreneurs, they've introduced me to people and they say, "Oh, wow. And your sister does this. Wait, what's in the water that you guys drink?" Like, and I was recently interviewed on a different podcast and someone asked me, I'm like, I hadn't really thought about it. So then when I was thinking about it, I think when you lose a parent at a young age, there's different ways it can affect you. I'm not a therapist, but I think it made me mature a lot faster and then probably made me just want to go for like exactly what I want, just knowing that, you know, you have one life and you don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know, to be dramatic. But
no, but it's true. It's real life.
I was always a go-getter. In everything but sports. I just wasn't good at sports. My brothers were the athletic ones, but I was always the one wanting to take charge of something, wanting to be the leader of something. I was obsessed with getting into the best colleges and getting straight A's for that. And like, what can I do? How can I be more of a leader? And it wasn't just, oh, I want to get into college. I like being in charge of things and moving things forward. I mean, I'm sure I was told I was bossy at some point by someone as a little girl, as unfortunately girls are told.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So like in high school, that meant I was doing a lot of heart disease awareness work because my dad died of a heart attack. And so then like I didn't just say like, oh, let me just start a club on campus, which I did. I was like, I'm going to do the first health fair on campus. And then I got all these local businesses involved. And it was like this crazy successful event. And then I'm like, well, then I'm going to contact the American Heart Association. And I think they're like, who's this like young woman? This is amazing. Let's bring her to Sacramento. Let's bring her to DC. Let's have her talk to Congress. I'm like, what? Because I think that they saw like having a well-spoken young person could be more powerful than like an adult. And then, you know, all of a sudden I'm speaking at these events and getting these awards, like National Youth Advocate Against Tobacco and heart disease stuff. Like, what am I doing here? But
I don't remember asking for that award, but okay, I'll take it.
Literally, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, why am I giving a speech to the Secretary of Health and Human Services? Really crazy. Former life. But I think it's like, if I'm going to do something, I want to go all in. Like, why would I spend my time doing it mediocrely, which is absolutely not a word, I don't think.
Well, it can be for today's episode.
And so I think part of it is, if I'm thinking about my family, I don't think I was ever told you can do whatever you want. My mom's doesn't say like cheesy lines like that.
Yeah.
But I think it was communicated to me. And like I said, when my grandpa told me I was going to be a doctor, I think that ended up affecting me more. And like, if my grandfather thinks I can get into Stanford and be a doctor, which is one of the most difficult professions out there, well, then I could probably do anything else. I don't know if I had that exact thought, but things go on subconsciously, like, when you're growing up. So I was just always told that I was really smart and I was talented and was encouraged to continue doing well. And it was just sort of an understood thing. Like, we expect you to do well in school. And I was the type that would just do my homework. Me and my brothers weren't exactly the same. There was a lot of yelling involved with one of them to get his homework done. But
when
does that answer?
It does. And typically people associate that with the eldest child. And you're the youngest in your family?
No, I'm the second oldest.
Second oldest. Okay.
And I'm the second oldest, but my older brother is 4 years older than I am. And then I'm 1.5 years older than the next, and then 6 years older than the youngest. But my older brother was in boarding school when we were growing up, and then in college because he's just older. So I was the oldest in the house for a lot of childhood, but not actually the oldest.
Yeah. Well, and I think also when you're in typical like gender roles, if even being like the oldest female and in the house shifts things because of it's different level of competitiveness, I think.
Yeah, but I think it helped that they were really good at sports, and then I was the like student extracurricular person, and yeah, sports I was just laughably terrible.
Well, so often people who are so great at achievement and straight A's and the scholastic side of things, as we become adults, we have to figure out that like perfect isn't the game anymore. So what have you discovered about yourself, especially owning a business and having to do all of these roles and the to-do list that never ends? How have you been shifting your perspective to find balance or to know that straight A's isn't like the game anymore?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that I've been able to do that, to be honest. But I think it comes down to like which things are going to drive revenue and sales. And I, at the beginning, was really concerned about the brand and everything looking perfect. And honestly, I think what it was is the timing of when I launched. There's been this big shift with marketing and like consumer behavior and social media where perfection doesn't sell anymore. And I'm like, thank God, because I can't be perfect because I don't have a team. I don't have enough time. And so back in the day, it was like the perfect Instagram feed, which is why I started out with that strategy. But in 2020, that's when it all kind of started to shift. And people were getting over it. Like they're just stuck at home when the pandemic and like not wanting to see perfection and wanting to see real lives and overall the like fake influencers. And then TikTok is such an authentic platform. And so I think part of that has helped me because it showed, okay, this video that's not perfect, that was filmed on my iPhone because I can't afford a professional videographer. Well, that's actually a benefit that it was filmed on my iPhone. I mean, I remember people telling me, when I first launched, I had posted a video, which now I look at that video and I thought that it's so funny that I thought that video would sell the tray. It was just not, I didn't know then. And I remember telling people were like, you need to hire a videographer. You need to make this well-produced video. And I was like, I know I do, but I don't have any money to do that. But they were totally wrong because that's not what is sold the product. It's all stuff filmed on my iPhone. I do not use professional cameras or videographers. And it's just me showing how the product works. So I think part of it has been the timing. And that's luck. Yeah. I didn't plan to launch at the time when the social media shift would be so grand. And it will continue to shift. So that taught me, basically, I would say TikTok taught me that I don't have to be perfect. And that's what I'm always telling people. They go, I can't do TikTok because like I'm such a perfectionist. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be a perfectionist on TikTok. Like if you post a perfect video, it's not even going to do well. And I used to care about looking really good on camera, and I was so shy of the camera, and I get all dolled up and perfect. And I'm not going to act like I'm not that entirely, but I've become more comfortable. So I'm not always wearing a ton of makeup. Sometimes I'm not wearing any makeup, which if you had told me that a year and a half ago that I would post a video on the internet without me wearing makeup, I would be shocked. But then I'm like, what's the big deal if someone sees a video of me where I don't look perfect? Like, what? Okay. So.
Yeah. We're not selling me. We're selling the tray. So you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm like, like, what is that? Like, what's the effect of that? Like, so,
yeah.
There just isn't an effect. Like, it doesn't matter.
I've had to get into a position where if I'm going to record videos or reels or wherever they go, end up TikTok or Instagram, I usually do like 6 at a time. And I've had to do them sometimes like while I'm walking my dog.
Well, and those perform really well because they capture like real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's hard to I've tried doing that, and then I sometimes I feel very like posed and like I'm talking differently than my natural way. Mm-hmm. I'm better on voiceover, but
same. Same. Yeah, there's a different confidence level, especially when I think you and I have both been encouraged to like keep talking and keep speaking up our whole lives. We're like, oh well, we can talk, but like put us on camera. It's like, look at my hair. What?
Yeah. But I will say, I have gotten a lot better. Like sometimes I'm like, ask my friend, hey, can you film me do this one thing? And I'll get it on the first shot.
Yeah.
And we're both like, whoa, like, how did you do that in one shot? I'm like, I don't know. But I have explained how this tray works so many times.
Oh yeah.
I won't mess that up.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was in New York this summer, I did a press event, which was really exciting. And at the end, the public relations woman I was working with on it, we're like, okay, wait, we need to give a tour of the apartment we were using. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to like waste all our time, like multiple shots. And she's filming me and we're both like, wait, you just did it perfectly in like that 1 minute whole tour explaining it. I'm like, once you do it enough times, it will come out more naturally.
Yeah. And you just get more relaxed because I think people also forget that so much of the content that's made today, it's important, but it's also throwaway content. Like it's gone. It's like out and gone. And yes, it'll still be on your page potentially, but it's out of everyone's mind so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So pivoting a little bit, I would love to hear what the words powerful and ladies mean to you. And do they mean anything different when they're put together?
Oh, what a good question. Okay. Powerful, I immediately think of influence and responsibility and those being connected.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think of like a story being powerful. Like I've learned that my story can be very powerful. It can be powerful in driving sales and awareness for my business. But I also think about responsibility. Like, what is the responsibility of a business owner, especially as you continue to grow? I mean, there's so many more things I would want to do when I have that more power, like financial power or influential power. You know, I want to use more sustainable materials. I want to be able to do more collaborations with charities. I think it is the role of a big brand to bring awareness to social issues because it's a win-win for both sides. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think like in relationship with ladies, it's knowing your worth, knowing you can do it, knowing that, you know, being told that you can't doesn't mean that you can't. I mean, I've made some TikToks where I share feedback I was told by a man, like a male business expert. And then it shifts into like showing me a Business Insider in a fulfillment center with celebrities. And it's like, what if I had listened to him? Like, especially if you're creating a product or service for women, not every man is going to understand it. And so taking that feedback with a grain of salt. And also supporting other women. And whether that means collaborating with them, sharing what they're doing, helping them. whether they're in business or if, they're need help in their personal life. I think that's important too.
How have powerful ladies supported you, guided you, or just been on your cheer squad along the way?
Well, if I think about like my family, I mean, my mom has been incredibly supportive in so many ways, and she's taught me most of what I know about decor, interior design, and entertaining. She's the ultimate party host, and she just has supported me in so many ways. She's allowed me to use her home as a grown adult for filming, as a temporary home, temporary office, which as a scrappy entrepreneur is amazing. I think of like my grandma who, yes, she started in TikTok. She's also helped me pack orders. She's cut packaging for me. She's sanded bamboo inserts. She's been not on the ground, on her hands and knees, doing physical labor for me in her 80s. Then I just think of like, I just have a lot of friends who have been very supportive, whether or not they buy a tray, they've told people about it, they post about it. And that means so much. People don't understand. Like just saying, hey, this is my friend, this is her business, check it out. Like it's such an easy thing to do. And it means so much.
Yeah.
And like, you've helped me so much. You're a powerful lady.
Thank you.
It's hard to imagine where I would be without working with you. But why imagine?
Why imagine?
Why imagine that? And I also have some like unofficial mentors, sort of. I mean, yesterday a woman took me out to lunch. She has a background in corporate gifting, and I'm trying to get more into corporate gifting. And she took me to lunch, shared all sorts of tips and tricks, and is acting kind of like an unofficial mentor. And she's like, reach out to me if you have questions. Who can I introduce you to? Things like that.
On a scale of 0 to 10, if 0 is the average everyday human and 10 is the most powerful lady you can imagine, where do you put yourself on that scale?
Oh, it would depend on the day. 8? Because there's certainly room for improvement. 7, 8.
Yeah. And when you're not feeling like a 7 or an 8, what do you do to get yourself back up there?
Yesterday, I went on a very long walk. Because some days I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just don't. Not I don't want to do the business. I'm like, I don't want to do this task that I have to do.
Right.
I can't concentrate on it. I'm thinking about something else. I don't want to do it. I have a video to post on TikTok. I don't even want to think about what the cover image and caption is. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then another day I'm like obsessed with TikTok and want to post 5 times.
I think that's a misconception that people have. Like there are so many days where I'm very similar, where I just don't want to do, like you said, the tasks. I love this business. I love my clients, but I don't want to read emails, and I don't want to have to get back to the 500 people who text me between one call and the second call. And I think we forget sometimes that you can be so obsessed with the business and love it and be totally committed and still have days where you're like, no, thank you. I want to float and have a cocktail, and I want everyone else to take care of me, because as entrepreneurs, who takes care of us? Like I think we need to start another business, which is just like entrepreneur butlers at this point. Like who can bring me my lunch every day? Because sometimes I forget to not just make lunch, but have food in the house.
Yeah. Especially when because I am, I don't have a co-founder. I don't have a team. I'm an intern starting soon. I've had interns, but I'm doing everything other than the things that are outsourced, which is minimal.
Yeah. And we are working on that, right? That's part of our big goal for you, is like, what does that team look like? How soon can they come? Because it's
just cash flow.
It's all the time, right? So, but it's just so important to like let people know that just because you don't love it every day doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path, I think.
Well, because no one loves their job every day. None of my friends love their job every day. Most of them love their jobs. Yeah. Which is good. Because I mean, there's people who don't even love their jobs. But no, I think that there has to be something wrong with you if you're like constantly in love with every aspect of your job. Like, then you must have like no fun outside of like, I don't know.
Like, it's okay to take a sick day from your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you look at how you have succeeded in 2022 and what you're building for 2023, what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm excited because I am launching my second product soon, kind of a product extension, so smaller trays. So right now I have trays that are size 20 by 12 inches. These fit perfectly two inside, as well as small inserts, so you can use the tray inside or outside of the tray. I'm really excited to see how my current customers respond to it, how customers or potential customers who have been on my text and email list, who maybe if they just keep thinking this is not the right size for me, do they convert once they learn about the smaller trays? I'm really excited to see how this pans out. And then eventually launching beyond trays. I always think it's so funny when people ask, will you ever do something other than trays? Like, of course, the business is called Statement Home. Like, and of course, like I'm a business-minded person. There's a huge opportunity to build a whole product line.
And you already have a list of what those could be because we've talked about some.
The whole podcast could be me explaining all the products. But as you and I both know, focusing in on just one product has been the right strategy and has allowed me to blow up. And I just think it would have been a disaster if I had launched even with two size trays. There's no way it would have worked.
Yep. Everyone who is listening, who is part of Powerful Ladies, they're all people who are resourceful and collaborative and want to pay it forward. So I've been asking everyone this year, what is something that you want or need personally or for your business?
Well, I would say I'm really focused on corporate special bulk orders. So, if someone gifting to all their clients, a tray with a custom design with your logo or some cool look you think that they would like, or if it's, custom for events or for, even in offices, someone was suggesting, law offices, they have trays in all their boardrooms and they could have really cool things. So things like that, like, anyone who would want to buy a bunch of trays, events, hotels, corporations, I'm your girl for that. So that would be one thing. Anyone that would want to collaborate on some sort of, whether it's like collaborating on a unique insert design that we're selling or, some sort of content collaboration. If you're a food, decor, alcohol, drink brand, there's so many ways I can incorporate your product. If you're in Southern California, we can do events together. We can do pop-ups together. I'm open to most things.
Yeah. Well, when you look back at where you started and where you are now, what are you most proud of?
I am proud of that I have gotten the business to this point without paid ads. I've tested, to be perfectly honest, I tested some paid ads minimally? Yes. But in the grand scheme of all of my sales, it's basically all organic. And I think that that's incredible. I would have never thought I was, past year 2 without a consistent Facebook, Instagram ad strategy. So I'm very proud of the fact that I have driven hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales from a small amount of TikTok videos and then been able to get into major publications like Forbes, Business Insider, People, all through organically, and many of which have come because of TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that I've been able to manage all of these things that I didn't know anything about by myself. And I'm proud of that more recently, I've been able to balance social life a little bit more. That was very difficult for me in the beginning. It was also a pandemic. So, but gotten to a point where I'm healthier in my daily life, more social, which is important. I'm an extremely social person, so that's important. So I'm proud of having a little bit more balance.
Yeah.
But there's still so much to do and so much more I could be doing.
Well, I just, I'm so proud of you and what you've done and how, as a coach, like you want to be working with people who come with all the questions, which you always do. You have like lists of things for us to cover every call. And then any advice or guidance or like next steps to give, like you go out and do them. And we're not saying
well, I have a lot to do before our meeting tomorrow. Let's see.
No, I'm not saying that you do like everything before every time we meet again, because sometimes we meet so frequently, but it's more just that like you do it. Like you are out there doing your business and working every day, and to be able to support you and help you keep, like, I feel like I just fan the fire. I'm like, go, 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 right? Like if I just keep pouring rocket fuel on, like that's all, we don't have to worry about the rest. And so I just, thank you for being that type of client. And I'm so proud of you for continuing to go, and you're not afraid to talk to people, which so many clients I have, I'm like, just if you talk to more people, like you never know who it is. Like talk to PR, talk to journalists, talk to these other mentors. The level at which that you are good at using your network and community to brag about your product and ask who else has an idea and what do they see. Like you really are that let's partner, collaborate person. And it makes me so happy every time you share a new PR hit or a new crazy breakthrough.
It's just really funny that you say that, because if I was to say what I need to do way more of is I would say that I do not network nearly enough and talk to enough people. So like, that's so funny.
Well, we could always do that more, but like, if I really look at
we're all very hard on ourselves. So
yes,
that's like so funny that that's what you're thinking. I'm really good at.
Well, you're a great advocate for your own brand, and that always makes it easier to sell than the people who don't want to talk about it or don't want to, you and I have conversations too about how much is, when are we bothering people? When are we not in marketing and things like that? But yeah, I want people to hear your story, because you literally created your business from nothing, from an idea you had, and you've worked so hard. And are there challenges that come up? Yeah, they always will, because that's what a business is. But you always bring them to the table and say, how do we fix this? What do we do? And you're so solution oriented versus being stuck somewhere. And I think that's also just another thing you probably don't give yourself credit for. Like you're never thinking like, this is it, it's over, I'm stuck here. You're always like, no, like we got to fix this, change this. What do we do next? But I'm excited for people to go and buy it. Everyone that I've ever gifted a tray to is obsessed with them. Like my sister and my mom keep bugging me like, when are the new trays coming out? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, follow Abby yourself. Like go get on her email list. She'll tell you.
Go on the website. It says I am now marking all the new ones as new to make it easier to know.
Yeah. And they're going to lose their minds when they see that the new size is coming out, because they both wanted to have a tray in their bathroom and their counter's not big enough. So they're going to be very excited about that. But it's like such a great thing for people to have in their home for hosting, for using every day, for gifting.
If you're listening to this in, I believe it will be October.
Yes.
Is that correct? You need gifts for Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever you celebrate. You need hostess gifts, and you need a tray for yourself for your own entertaining needs. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for you. The jack of all trades is here for you. It is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. So go buy yourself a tray.
I have never had one person return it after getting a gift. I have no one returns it. It's like I've had not even 10 returns. No one returns it. And in fact, people are usually going back and buying their own additional inserts after, because they're like, oh, I'm going to keep using this. Yep.
So for people who do want to support you, buy it, follow you, where do they go to do all of those things?
So you go to statementhome.com. There will be some sort of discount code, something in the bio of this or the description. And then you can follow on Instagram at Shop Statement Home. And then TikTok is at Statement Home. So slightly different.
Perfect.
And yeah.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with me and to share your story with everyone listening. It's such a pleasure to have you on this podcast, to have you as a client, and just to have you as part of the Powerful Ladies Kicking Ass crew. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
All the links to connect with Abby and Statement Home are in our show notes at thepowerfulladies.com. When shopping at Statement Home, don't forget to use code PowerfulLadies at checkout to unlock secret discounts. Please subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening and leave us a rating and review. Come join us on Instagram at PowerfulLadies. And if you're looking to connect directly with me, please visit karaduffy.com or Kara_Duffy on Instagram. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode and a new amazing guest. Until then, I hope you are taking on being powerful in your life. Go be awesome and up to something you love.